Thanks for spending a little bit of time with material management software. In this video, we're going to cover how to import data into Spectrum. First off, though, quick commercial break. We do have a lot of other modules here at Material Management Software. Everything from field management of purchase orders and requisitions, all the way through to analytics. If you have interest in looking at anything else, feel free to contact Material Management at support@materialmanagementinc.com or 1-800-590-1300. All right, let's take a look at how to import data into Spectrum. First off, you're going to log in. Once you've logged into Spectrum, let's talk about how to import a purchase order acknowledgement. So if you're using either web power order or you're using desktop power order or power purchase, you do have the ability to import that purchase order information to backfill the data into Spectrum. So what that means is however you decide to get a purchase order information off to your vendor will send you the confirmed information. You can review it in material management software and then import it into Spectrum so that you get things like item code, UPC, description, price, quantity, unit of measurement, and that keeps it so that you don't have to type information in. So let's get into it. First thing, to do a purchase order, you're going to go to purchase order, data entry, and then import purchase orders. Once you've gotten to import purchase orders, you can give it a batch ID if you want. You do need to give it a GL account, and this is just a disaster preparedness GL account. Material management software applications will not permit you to export data unless you have chosen a particular GL account. And so any GL account is going to be fine here. We usually like to also include transactions for PO numbers that already exist. Why do you want to do this? If you want to append line items to an existing sales order that you've gotten from your vendor, or if you want to append line items for a credit memo that may come through on the purchase order side, or again, any sort of change order, you can append those line items and actually plus or minus into the purchase order to adjust your committed cost. The inventory, if you've got inventory items or you require a warehouse, some Spectrum instances do require a warehouse. Once you've given it your disaster preparedness, chosen if you want to include transactions for PO numbers that already exist, you'll click continue, and then you'll choose a file. If you're using web-based power order, then you're going to go to downloads and you're going to grab the correct import file. If you're using the desktop power purchase or desktop power order, it may be located in a different spot. You are going to have to find that. Again, material management can help. Once you select the import batch that you want to select, then you're going to click upload. And that's it. You've imported your purchase order. Next up, let's talk about invoices. Invoices in Spectrum take two flavors. One is to receive against a purchase order. The second one is to do the AP vendor import. Let's look at the most common one, which is the importing of a PO receiving document. Now, the import for PO receiving does both receiving against the purchase order as well as processes the invoice, and it creates an approved invoice in Spectrum. All routing rules will still be applied that you've got set up in your default Spectrum. So we're going to go to purchase order, data entry, and the purchase order receiving import. Once you have the purchase order receiving import, again, you can give it a batch code. You can set particular GL dates there, give it any sort of remark that you want. This one here is very important. In order to save the PDF, you need to have the correct location. Each company's location is going to be unique. And whether you're using desktop or whether you are using web power invoice, That's going to change based on your implementation of Spectrum. Once again, material management can assist you in locating that, but you must have that if you want your PDFs to upload. Once you click continue, again, you're going to choose your file. And your file, again, is likely going to be in downloads or in the specified location of where it's stored at. You select your file and you upload. End process. It's just that simple. We could talk a little bit about error correction. We'll do another video on error correction when things have an issue. Let's talk about the third type. This is least common. I can go to accounts payable, data entry, and then vendor invoice import. This is typically for things like the cable bill, the water bill, a labor import. These are less common and they're not related to items, but it's still important to know you still have your batch codes, you still have your GL account for disaster preparedness, the APGL account, and then again, if you're going to include an image, you need to make sure that this is filled out. The same process, you click continue, you find your file, and then you upload. End process. And those are the three types of documents that you can import into Spectrum. Hopefully you found this video a little bit helpful and it'll save you some time in figuring this out. And thanks again for watching material management videos. Thanks.